Right then, Blades fans, settle in because we've got some absolutely massive talking points to get through today. I'm talking ownership drama, potential transfer windfalls, and a Derby hero who's quietly proving he might be the signing of the season. If you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button right now and join thousands of fellow Blades. Getting the latest news first. Hit the bell icon just so you never miss an update. Trust me, you'll want to hear all three of these stories. We've just come off the back of a brilliant 3-0 demolition of Wednesday at Hillsborough, and whilst we're all still buzzing from that result, there's so much more happening behind the scenes that could shape our entire season. Today we're diving deep into three crucial stories that every single Blades supporter needs to know about. First up, the ownership situation at Bramall Lane has taken another twist, and let's just say the fans aren't holding back. The reaction on social media has been absolutely brutal, and when you look at what's happened since Co Sports took over, you can understand why there's so much frustration. Then we'll talk about a potential transfer that can inject serious cash into our January budget, which Chris Wilder desperately needs. We're talking potentially millions of pounds coming back to the club from a player we sold just over a year ago. And finally, we'll shine a light on a player who's been absolutely brilliant but somehow flying under the radar. A free transfer who's come in and immediately looked like he belongs at this level. So grab a brew, get comfortable, and let's get into it. This is going to be a proper deep dive, but every bit of it matters if you care about where this club is heading. Confirmed, and this is huge, Co Sports, our American owners who only bought the club back in December, are already considering selling up. Yeah, you heard that right. Less than a year in charge, and they're reportedly reviewing their plans for the club. Come the new year, Alan Nixon from The Sun broke this story, and it sent shockwaves through the Blades community. When I first saw the headline, I genuinely had to read it twice. 12 months. That's all it's been, and they're already thinking about the exit door. Let me give you the full context here, because this is important. COH Sports purchased Sheffield United from Prince Abdullah in December 2024. At the time, we were right in the thick of the promotion race, sitting comfortably in the playoff spots under Chris Wilder's management. The takeover was presented as a fresh start, a new era for the club. They talked about ambition, about investment, about taking Sheffield United back to the Premier League where we belong. The American model, they said, data-driven decisions, modern recruitment, all that stuff you hear about clubs being run like businesses these days. Their first major decision was keeping Chris Wilder in charge through the end of that season. Smart move, you'd think. Wilder had us flying, the fans loved him, and we were genuine contenders for automatic promotion. But then came May, and that playoff final against Sunderland at Wembley. Heartbreak. Absolute heartbreak for everyone connected with this club. We lost that match, and suddenly everything changed. This is where Co Sports made their first catastrophic mistake. They sacked Chris Wilder, the manager who'd taken us to within one game of the Premier League. The manager who understood this club inside out, who'd already achieved promotion with us before, who had Bramall Lane rocking every single week. They sacked him, and then they brought in Ruben Sells, a manager most of our fans had never even heard of. Now, I don't want to be too harsh on Sells personally, because he's clearly a decent coach with some good ideas, but he was completely wrong for this job, completely wrong for the championship. He came in with tactical ideas that didn't suit the brutal intensity of this division. His signings were based on data and statistics rather than proven quality at this level. We brought in players from abroad, from lower leagues, players who looked brilliant on a spreadsheet but couldn't handle the physical demands and relentless schedule of 46 games in the championship. The results speak for themselves, don't they? We're currently sitting in the relegation zone, 22nd in the table, level on points with Sheffield Wednesday and Norwich City. We've taken 16 points from 16 matches. That's relegation form, pure and simple. For a club of our size, with our history, with our fan base and our resources, that's absolutely nowhere near good enough. We should be challenging for the playoffs at minimum. Co Sports eventually realized their mistake with Sells and brought Wilder back in September. Thank goodness they did, because Sunday's Derby win showed exactly what he brings to this team. Organization, passion, fight, identity, everything we'd lost. But the damage had already been done. We'd wasted the first 3 months of the season going backwards, and now we're in a genuine battle just to stay in this division. And now Nixon's reporting that Co Sports will review everything in January. They might look for external investment to help fund the club going forward. Or they might sell the whole lot. Complete sale. After less than 12 months in charge. Think about that for a second. What kind of ownership group buys a football club and then considers selling it before they've even been there a full year? The reaction from Blades fans has been scathing. One supporter said they have no idea what they're doing, and it's hard to argue with that assessment. Every major decision they've made has backfired. Another fan questioned whether their approach was ever worth it, suggesting they gambled on buying a club they thought would be in the Premier League by now. And that's probably the truth of it. When the takeover was finalized last season, we were flying. Top 6, momentum building, proven manager in charge. You have to wonder if Co Sports looked at that situation and thought promotion was a done deal. Buy the club cheap while they're in the championship, get them promoted, cash in on those massive Premier League payments, maybe flip the club for a quick profit. Several fans pointed out that Co Sports basically gambled and lost. They bet everything on promotion happening under their watch. When we lost that playoff final, their entire business plan fell apart. And rather than committing to the long-term project of building us back up properly, they're apparently already thinking about cutting their losses. Right now, we need stability more than anything. Chris Wilder's back in charge, and he's already making a difference. That 3-0 win over Wednesday showed what we're capable of. The lads were brilliant. That's the Sheffield United we know and love. But Wilder needs backing in January. He needs proper investment to fix the mistakes from last summer. And most importantly, he needs owners who are fully committed to this club's future, who trust him to do the job, who'll give him the resources and time to build something sustainable. Here's my question for you. Do you want Co Sports to stay and prove themselves? Or would you rather they sold up to someone with genuine ambition? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this, hit that like button. Right? Here's some potentially brilliant news that could solve our January problems. William Osula, remember him? The young Danish striker we sold to Newcastle last summer for £15 million. Well, he's being linked with a move away from St. James's Park, and if it happens, we could be looking at a serious cash injection thanks to a sell-on clause. Let me take you back to August 2024. We were preparing for another championship campaign after missing out on promotion. Newcastle came calling for Osula, one of our young attacking prospects. We sold him for £15 million, which at the time seemed like decent business for a striker who hadn't fully established himself. Osula had shown promise, don't get me wrong. He had pace, he had potential, but he'd only made a handful of appearances and hadn't nailed down a regular spot. $15 million felt like good money, especially with FFP concerns. So off he went to Newcastle. Since then, he's made 33 appearances for the Magpies under Eddie Howe. He scored 5 goals in those games across all competitions. That's not terrible for a young player adjusting to Premier League football, but it's not exactly setting the world alight either. He's been a squad player mostly. Here's where it gets interesting for us. Over the summer, Osula was heavily linked with Eintracht Frankfurt in the Bundesliga. The fee being talked about, £30 million. Double what Newcastle paid us. That move didn't happen, but according to German outlet Fussball Transfers, Osula is expected to leave Newcastle in January. The 22-year-old Dane reportedly wants regular first-team football, which is understandable. At Newcastle, he's never going to be first choice ahead of Alexander Isak. Stuttgart have shown interest, but Eintracht Frankfurt are apparently leading the race. They're a massive club who play in Europe regularly. For a young player like Osula, that could be the perfect move. And this is crucial. We apparently have a sell-on clause in his contract. The exact percentage hasn't been confirmed, but standard sell-on clauses tend to be 10 to 25%. Let's do some maths. If Frankfurt pay £30 million for Osula and we've got a 20% clause, that's £6 million quid coming to Bramall Lane. $6 million in January when we desperately need funds. Even at 15%, that's $4.5 million. Even at 10%, that's $3 million. Think about what that money could do. £3 to £6 million in January. That could be the difference between bringing in one quality player or 2 or 3. A proven championship striker, an experienced center back, a creative midfielder, whatever area Wilder identifies as the priority. But it's not done yet. Newcastle might keep him. Frankfurt might not meet the asking price. There's plenty that could go wrong, but the fact he's being seriously linked is encouraging. Wilder's been very open about how important January is. He said it reminds him of 2016 when we first broke into the championship. He called it a massive opportunity. He talked about the loan market, about potentially having to sacrifice some summer loan signings for better quality. But he can't do any of it without money. If we get for $5-6 million from an Osula sale, that changes everything. That's the difference between having options and being stuck with what we've got. The timing couldn't be better. We're in the relegation zone, 1 point from safety. Portsmouth just beat Wald to climb above us. Every point matters. January could define our season. Get the right players in and we can climb the table. Make the same mistakes as last summer and we're in serious trouble. League One would be catastrophic for this club. What do you reckon? Will Osula move in January? And if we get that money, how should Wilder spend it? Striker, defender, midfielder? Let me know in the comments and subscribe so you don't miss transfer updates. Here's a question. Who was our best player in that 3-0 Derby win? If you said Tyrese Campbell with his 2 goals, fair enough. If you said Tom Cannon, he scored as well. But according to Danny Hull from The Star, one player's performance went under the radar despite being superb. Kyro Rita Wald. If you're wondering who Rita Wald is, let me explain. He's a 29-year-old Dutch midfielder we signed on a free transfer in October, just over a month ago. He arrived on a short-term deal until January to prove himself. Since signing, he's made 6 appearances under Wilder, and he's been quietly excellent in every one. Not flashy, but solid, reliable, exactly what you need in midfield during a relegation battle. Before joining us, Rita Wald had quite the career. He came through the Ajax Academy in Amsterdam. Proper Ajax, one of the biggest talent factories in world football. He broke into their first team as a teenager and made 93 appearances, scoring 3 goals. In 2017, at just 20, he moved to England. Crystal Palace brought him to the Premier League. He spent several years at Selhurst Park, making 97 appearances and scoring 3 goals. Not bad for a defensive midfielder. Then in 2024, he moved to Royal Antwerp in Belgium. He made 21 appearances, but things didn't work out. He canceled his contract last summer and became a free agent. That's when Wilder spotted an opportunity. Here's an experienced midfielder, still only 29, who's played at the highest level in multiple countries, available on a free, no fee, probably reasonable wages. It's exactly the kind of smart, low-risk signing clubs in our position should make. So we brought him in on a short-term deal, a trial period where both sides can assess if it's working. If he's brilliant, we extend. If not, we part ways in January with no money wasted. Now, Sunday's Derby is where Rita Wald really impressed. Danny Hull wrote that Rita Wald's performance might go unnoticed with Campbell stealing the show, but his display in midfield was superb, especially in the first half before we took control. Hull praised how Rita Wald was everywhere in midfield, constantly breaking up play, intercepting passes, winning tackles. He stopped Wednesday building any momentum. Every time they tried to string passes together, there was Rita Wald nicking the ball away. But it wasn't just defensive work. Rita Wald played a crucial role in our opening goal. He won the ball from Ian Valerie high up the pitch and immediately played a clever pass to Callum O'Hare, who created the chance for Campbell's opener. That's intelligent, proactive defending, not just protecting your own box, but winning the ball in dangerous areas and starting attacks. That takes awareness, technical quality, and confidence. Think about it. We signed this lad on a free just over a month ago. Short-term deal, low risk, basically a trial, and he's already become important in our midfield. He's contributing to Derby wins. That's brilliant recruitment from Wilder. Compare that to some expensive, data-driven signings from last summer that haven't worked out. Players who cost actual money who aren't even making the bench. But Rita Wald, who costs nothing, is starting Derby matches. That tells you everything about the difference between Wilder's approach and what came before. Now, here's the big question. What happens in January? Rita Wald's contract expires on New Year's Day. The club needs to decide. Do we extend his deal and keep him for the rest of the season? Or let him go and use that squad space for someone else? Based on his performances, it seems like a no-brainer to keep him. He brings experience from the Premier League, Eredivisie, and European competitions. He's got quality on the ball. He's got that bite in midfield we need in a relegation battle. Plus, he's on a free transfer. We didn't pay a penny. His wages are probably quite reasonable. It's smart business, low risk, and it's working. Why would you change that? The only reason not to extend would be if Wilder has someone significantly better lined up. Maybe a younger midfielder on loan from a Premier League club, maybe a championship-proven player. But unless that option is clearly better, why risk it? We've got massive fixtures coming up. Portsmouth at home Wednesday night, which is a 6-pointer. They're just above us in the table. Then Leicester away Saturday. If Rita keeps performing like he did against Wednesday, he'll be vital in both matches. So here's my question. Should we extend Wald's contract in January? Or would you rather see someone else? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe with notifications on for reaction to whatever the club decides. Right then, Blades fans, let's wrap this up. 3 massive stories today. 3 huge talking points that could seriously impact where we finish this season. First, the ownership situation with Co Sports. They're reportedly considering selling after less than a year. The fans aren't happy with how they run things. The Wilder sacking was baffling. The Sells appointment was a disaster. The transfer strategy has been all over the place. We're in the relegation zone where we should be challenging for playoffs. If they're not committed long-term, maybe it's better if they go. But if they stay, they need to prove themselves by backing Wilder properly in January. Second, the William Osula transfer situation. He's heavily linked with a move from Newcastle to Germany, probably Frankfurt. And if that goes through, we could bank millions from the sell-on clause. That money could be the difference between survival and relegation. Keep your fingers crossed that deal happens, because Wilder could work wonders with an extra 5 or 6 million to spend. Finally, Rita Wald, our unsung hero from the Derby, signed on a free in October, already proving his worth, now facing a contract decision in January. Sometimes the best signings aren't the flashy ones. They're the experienced professionals who just get on with the job brilliantly. That's Rita Wald. We're sitting 22nd, 1 point from safety, with crucial games coming up. Wednesday night against Portsmouth at Bramall Lane, then Saturday away to Leicester. Every point matters. Wilder's got this team organized and fighting again, but he needs support in January. Before you go, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We bring you regular updates on everything Sheffield United. Match reactions, transfer news, tactical breakdowns, all of it. Hit that like button. It genuinely helps us reach more fans. Turn on notifications so you never miss an upload, and get stuck into the comments. I want to hear what you think about all 3 stories. Are you Co Sports in or out? Will the Osula money come through? Should we keep Rita Wald? What positions do we need to strengthen? Let's get a proper discussion going. We're all in this together, Blades fans, supporting the same club through thick and thin. Right now we're in a thin period, but it's nothing we can't overcome with the right decisions and commitment. So let's get behind the lads for these next matches. Portsmouth on Wednesday, pack out Bramall Lane and make it a fortress. Then Leicester on Saturday. It'll be tough, but if we can nick something, even a draw, that's a good point. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate every one of you taking the time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one, probably Wednesday evening with a match reaction. Come on you Blades, let's climb this table and show everyone what this club's really about.